Tiana Yees de Line Kaburan Kaburat, Solomon Ebel Lalo. American Agaran let me prove it to you that I am a proud Ethiopian dude. Wahab. Waweld. Wa manifestatus. Hadu Amlik. Amen. I like listening to music, play ball and sometimes watch movies. Oh, I forgot to add traveling. I speak Ge'ez, Amharic, English and French. I also know few bad words in Arabic like kusmasher mata. But that is really bad word to say, so don't say it. Yom. Anna, Ahauer Hub by Washington. I said in Ge'ez language, today I go to Washington. Eshi Suach? Mean Addis Nagarle? Or in Hebrew Mahadesh, Vuvoyekuj Parlbakudi along. I rap like this. Babe. It is quiet the contrary, open me like your dictionary. I am a dude from Addis with a PhD in street knowledge, you see. Wababdoo bame wap bam boom. Well, hello all mamos and memes, fellows and females alike. Are you still paying extra attention to me? Labih melo 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 oh hodi, labih melo melo oh hodi. Kuilun man kul wa atali kuilun man kul wa atali kuilun man koelesh. Why do the Ethiopian and the European, Gregorian, calendar differ? I bet you don't really know. Well, the difference is both in years and days. According to the Ethiopian calendar, the current year is 2003, which is clearly 7 years behind the Gregorian. Ethiopian months are also lagging by 7, 8, 9 or 10 days depending on where the two calendars' months match. We have 12 months with 30 days each and the 13th month with 5 or 6 days. The 13th month is called Puagme, to mean the 30th. It is either 6 or 5 days whether the year is leap year. The hours of the day are not named and divided in the same way as in the European. For example, the Europeans say 12 o'clock a.m., when it is actually 6 at midday. In the Ethiopian, evenings are considered parts of the next day. The difference lies in determining the exact date of the birth of Christ. According to Dionysius, a Roman monk, the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ was 753 years after the foundation of the city of Rome. It is according to his calculation that the world joins the second millennium, in spite of the fact that researchers many years after him have already discovered he has made a mistake by at least 4 years. Their argument was based on the biblical clues given at Matthew 2 and Luke 3. In Matthew 2, it was mentioned that Jesus was born during the time of King Herod. The king died just after the birth of Christ. Meanwhile, it was also recorded that the king died 75 years after the city of Rome was founded. The other gospel tells us that Jesus was 30 by the time he began his ministry. It was also mentioned that this was the 15th year of the reign of Tiberius Caesar. Historians proved that Tiberius came to power 765 years after Rome was founded. The 15th of his reign would be in 780, clearly showing a difference of 4 years from the calculation Dionysius has done. So the European calendar is chaotic and false. For example, September, the word Sep means 7, October or Oko meaning 8, November or Nub meaning 9, and finally December or Dik means 10, yet September is the 9th month instead of 7th, October is now 10th month instead of being 8th, November is the 11th month of the European calendar but should have been only 9th, well, and finally December, you already know that it should have been the 10th month but now is the 12th. This calendar is crazy. So how the heck did Ethiopians manage to have the correct calendar without following the Roman Dionysius? Well, they were smarter. Here is how they did it. The Ethiopian Christians didn't base themselves on historical facts to decide the date on which Jesus was born. They used ages mentioned in many parts of the Holy Bible. According to their argument, God has nothing to do without reason. He must have meant something when he makes mention of these ages. If one contemplates on this, he would derive a remarkable conclusion about this matter. Moreover, the birth of our Lord was foretold. The time was also fixed. Jesus was not born suddenly. When was it? It is really a big question. How did the Magi come to Jerusalem to worship the infant Jesus? Indeed, they were wise men, and had the prophecy in their tradition that the King of the Jews, whose kingdom will last forever, will be born in the Holy Land. It is also important to observe that the chief priests of Jerusalem were able to tell where he was born. They knew the date, Dani 9 and Plasmicius 5. So we can be sure that there is sufficient information to fix the exact date just by following the story. The story begins in the 5th chapter of Genesis. General 5:3. When Adam became the father of Seth, he was 230. When Seth became the father of Enosh, he was 205. When Enosh became the father of Kenan, he was 190. When Kenan became the father of Mahalalel, he was 170. When Mahalalel became the father of Jared, he was 165. When Jared became the father of Enoch, he was 162. When Enoch became the father of Methuselah, he was 165. When Methuselah became the father of Lamech, he was 187. When Lamech became the father of Noah, he was 180. To the flood came at the 600th age of Noah, 600 some 2,256 years. No, we finished the 5th chapter of Genesis. Let us now go to the 11th chapter of Genesis. Remember that here Shem's was selected only because Jesus Christ was in his line of generation. General 11:10. When Shem became the father of Arphaxad 2 years after the flood, 002. When Arphaxad became the father of Canaan, he was 135. When Canaan became the father of Shelah, he was 130. When Shelah became the father of Eber, he was 130. When Eber became the father of Peleg, he was 134. When Peleg became the father of Ro, he was 130. When Ro became the father of Serug, he was 132. When Serug became the father of Nahor, he was 130. When Nahor became the father of Terah, he was 109. When Terah became the father of Abraham, Nahor and Haran, he was 175. Abraham went to exile from his relatives and family. 075 some 1207 years. The grand sum will be 2,256 plus 1207 equals 3,463 years. These above numbers are clearly presented and need no deep knowledge of the whole story of the Old Testament. The remaining ones are found scattered, so require a rather better knowledge. From the 75th age of Abraham to Exodus, 430 years. From Exodus to Samuel, 513 years. From Saul to Solomon, 120 years. From Solomon to exile to Babylon, 394 years, and in exile 70 years and 1527 years. These sums up to 1527 and 3,463 equals 4,990 years. From here on, the calculations are based on the verse on the book of Daniel. Daniel chapter 9 verses 24 to 25. In this verse, the coming of the Messiah has been clearly stated as 62 sevens. It goes, from the issuing of the decree to restore and rebuild Jerusalem until the Anointed One, the ruler, comes, there will be 7 sevens and 62 sevens. The first 7 sevens, which will amount, will be 49 years, and the 62 others will be 434 years. It is also mentioned that Ezra went to Jerusalem with the exile captives of Israel to build Jerusalem and the temple of the 7th year of the reign of Artaxerxes. Ezra chapter 7, verses 6 to 9. The first sevens will be from the issuing of the word to the end of the rebuilding of the temple. Mind you, the temple has taken 46 years to rebuild, John chapter 2 verse 20, and the 3-year difference is the time when the Israeli were banned from building, Ezra 1, verses 1 to 6 and 23 to 24. There is one subtle point to understand here. The 62 and the 7 sevens are not continuous. The beginning of this is the 7th year of the reign of Artaxerxes, king of Persia, Ezra ca. chapter 7 verse 6-9. This can be historically proved that it was the 76th year of the kingdom of Persia, which includes the first 7 sevens. Therefore, these 76 years plus 434 equals 62x7, it would be 510 years. Finally, we reach the point. This total sum would establish the 5,500 equals 4,990 plus 510 years sought. The time God gave Adam to come to this world. Now I bet you didn't expect to learn this much from a simple cartoon. I didn't know either. I got it from www.ethiopianorthodoxchurch.org, so I do the best and leave the rest. Learn to trust and not lust. Live to love and I am out of rhymes. Excuse my French fellows. I am still young and ask myself lots of questions such as, why didn't Jesus fight against capital punishment? Or did he? I have yet a lot to learn, I know, guys. Or is the Earth a perfect prison since we cannot fly or go to the moon and live there? Did you know that the name Abyssinia actually came from the English word abyss, means in Gulf or deep gorge? So to foreigners, we are people of the Gulf since we are at the door of the Red Sea. I personally didn't know this. Yemen means right in Gia's language, and Yemen located at the right side of Ethiopia.